What's up, YouTube? So today I am currently in the middle of a vintage air AC install on my 1966 C10. I will put a playlist of the videos in the description if you're interested, but I'm at a point right now, especially inside the cab, to where I can replace the factory firewall insulation pad really easy. Probably the easiest it's going to be for me at this moment in time. The one I have is still the original one in the truck. We'll take a look at that here in a second, but it's starting to fall apart and crumble. Insulation is just kind of unraveling itself. Got the reproduction piece here from classicparts.com. Part number link will be in the description as well, but it's all pre-cut, got all the holes perforated for it. Looks just like the original with the insulation pad already on it, and it even comes with the plastic push nuts to hold everything in place. So let's go take a quick look at the cab, kind of assess what we got to remove, take off, and then we're going to jump right into it. So like I stated earlier, we're in the middle of an AC install, and this is currently where I'm at. I had to drill some holes for the drain, that big hole in the bottom near the floor mats, the drain. There's some couple other holes I had to drill, so I went ahead and cut that section of firewall pad out to make that process easier. But as you can see, the rest of the pad, it's just crumbling, falling apart. It's seen better days. I mean, here's a piece right here that fell out yesterday. It's seen better days. It's gonna be a little tricky on this side. Shouldn't be too bad, but you know, we're gonna have to gas pedal rod. I have to figure out what I gotta do there. Some of this stuff's gonna be a little tricky to do, but I think it's not gonna be too bad. So I think first things first, let me go ahead and remove this floor mat. I'm gonna have to take the door seals off to do that, and then once we get that out of the way, then we can better assess what needs to be done to replace the pad. So what you're looking at right there is one of those push tabs that hold the firewall pad in place. And it looks like they put some kind of tar insulation or whatever around it. But what I've been doing to remove it, especially on the passenger side, I just took some side cutters and cut the end off and just pull it out from the inside. It's really not that hard since it's plastic. There might be a couple more on this side. I know there's one under the fender well. So let's go ahead and get the rest of those removed. So we're under the driver's side fender well here, and you do have one you have to remove right there. Really, really easy. And then all you got to do is just pull it out from the other side. That's it. Real simple. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them. We'll go from there. In case you were wondering how the gas pedal comes out, it's really easy. It just snaps in place. A couple of snaps and a couple of ball studs right there. Really easy. Yep, I got some sound deadening material under my floor mat. Did that when I did the sound system in my truck. Alright, some of the power cables, like for the subwoofer and cables I got to ignition box and other stuff, I just did that personally off camera. Some of the stuff you'll probably have to deal with, like that harness right there, we'll go ahead and unplug that. So let's go outside the truck and unplug it. Hopefully it unplugs easily, because well, not as easy as I thought it'd be. Dang, that's a lot harder than I thought it would be. We're starting to get somewhere with removing all this stuff. Big old chunk right there. I'm going to pull it out because I think we're done with it. All right. Ooh, see what I'm saying? Just falling apart. Interesting, some factory tape right there. I never did this. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I got, see, for me personally, let's kind of slide this camera over like so. For me personally, I got so much going on right here. Fuel pump wiring, I got a choke cable, relay wiring, got some other stuff going on here. I even got a cruise control. Got a lot of videos if you want to check them out. Just click on the old channel page there and pick a video you want to see. At any rate, I think when I put the new one in, I'm just going to cut that section out, make it like a U shape, and just slide it back in place. That way I don't have to mess with any of that. Yeah, we got some screws down here we need to remove. So let's move the camera on the other side and get all that going. These are 5/16. Still gotta remove that plate. 2 more 5/16 bolts and that'll get that out of the way. Can this be done without taking any cables off? Let's see. Well, can't remove it without taking the column out. So I guess we'll just lift it up out the way. And I'm not pulling the column out. Alright, to remove the fuse block, there's only 2 screws that hold it in place. To remove this bottom fuse. And it looks like the heater fuse, which is the one right here. Oh, my fuse came apart. I guess they don't make them like they used to. A couple of 1/4" screws. This last piece should fall out. There it is. Mine's crumbling out, but oh man, a little bit of a chunk here. Might need to go ahead and unplug the main harness. And this probably goes through a hole in the new firewall pad. All right, that's unplugged and out of the way. I don't think there's much stopping us from putting a new one in. All right, guys, mug time. So the old firewall pad's out of place. Came out really easy, basically because it just crumbled and fell apart. But before we install the new one, I got a lot of dirt and debris I need to get cleaned up, vacuumed up, whatever I got to do there. And also I have a few sheets of sound deadening material left over from when I did all this. So I may thinking about adding those pieces in as well, but that remains to be seen. Let me go ahead and figure all that out off camera, get this cleaned up, and once that's all done, we'll go ahead and set up the camera and start installing the new one. So here's the new firewall pad. We'll get the plastic off, you'll see a little bit better, but you see all the holes that are cut out, perforated, whatever you need to cut out and remove. We'll put a link in the description for the part number, but it is the 60 to 66. And it is made in the USA. It does come with the clips, which are right there. I recommend getting the grommets for the main wiring harness, basically that one, and that big hole over there, because if they're anything like mine, and I'm sure they will be if it's on your truck and it's never been replaced, they're going to be hard as a rock. They're going to be brittle. They do make a grommet kit that I purchased, and it comes with all the firewall grommets that you'll need to replace if you want to, but those are the main 2 I would definitely get. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description for the 6-piece part number I used from classicparts.com. And if I didn't state earlier, this is where this came from as well, classicparts.com. So I got those 2 grommets replaced. I already had them. Like I stated earlier, I bought a 6-pack kit for the firewall. Making it really easy to install. Just go ahead and cut your little slit in there. That way you can remove it and install it at any time you want to, versus trying to disconnect the cable and then sliding it over that way. So I've been kind of loosely test fitting this firewall pad. Went ahead and cut that out so it slides over that. I did have to remove the gas pedal, which is what goes through this hole. A little bit painful. You have to reach in the firewall back there, but it's not too bad. So I'm trying to get this side lined up first. I'm not even really understanding why this squares like that. We'll show you that here in a second. But this edge keeps kind of hitting the firewall, and it's not letting this hole line up with the firewall hole. So I'm going to have to do some minor trimming right here. I'm going to start up here because it seems like this is the problem area. Let me go ahead and trim that a little bit and start test fitting it. That's it right there. Oh man, it's gonna take some effort to push that through. Wow. All right, I think I got it now. I think I got it. Put a little grease on the end of that. And then use a 1/4-20 long bolt. That pushes it right in and give you something leverage to grab a hold of. Alright, well, that's lining up pretty good. Man, I can't believe it's that hard. I really cannot believe it's that hard, guys. I figure a little effort, but come on now. That's ridiculous. Eat your sack lunch before you push these nuts in, because they're not easy at all. I admit this side's been kind of a pain to get it going. I'm trying to make it curve. A piece of flat cardboard curve, and that ain't easy. I don't think I've ever worked out so hard in my life. There's that hole. Let's have that easy job to do right there where we push that plastic nut in with 1,800 pounds of force that we're needed to install a piece of plastic. Man, it is lining up though. Wow. The old quarter 20 bolt works. I tried several different things to try to come up with something easier, but man, not easy to do. But yeah, I just gotta do one push thing, plastic retainer there, and then we can move to the other section. So I forgot to order this. This little pad goes in between that little metal plate around the steering column. They do sell these at classicparts.com, but I mean, I wouldn't get it for a few days, and I want to go ahead and finish this up today. I got some of this foam padding. I don't know where I got it from, but I've had it for a long time. So you see what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna trim that out best I can and put that in there. That's good enough for now. At some point, if I ever order anything else from Classic Parts, I'm gonna go ahead and get that piece. But from now, this will keep me going so I can finish the install. The only other thing I'm running into here is there's U-shaped cutouts right there. And I really, really have to push this over just to get those lined up. And I wish Chevrolet would have made this notched out, because this thing has been in my way ever since I started. But look what you're doing here. Look at how all that's buckled up. And I mean, there's nothing to hold that down. So, if you relax it a little bit, it's closer to the harness connector, and it seems to fit a little better. That's really the only thing that isn't lining up very well. You can make, like I said, you can make it happen. And man, this thing really gets buckled up and crinkled. It's already creased in spots it ain't supposed to be creased, and I just didn't like that. So, plus it was kind of bowing it up out here in the middle a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is just leave it alone as is and try to make it work that way. Basically, this metal plate and those two screws on each side hold that down as well. See if I can find this hole with a pick. I did. Alright, got that one loosely started. See if we can find a hole on this one. Yep, that worked out. I haven't figured out what this is perforated for. I do not know. Maybe for another model. If you know, comment below what that hole is for, because I do not know. Alright, I'm gonna leave that loose for now. I still got to do the other side, but that is done. And in case you're wondering, I gotta make a small hole here, because I got a 66, which this wire goes to my reverse lights. Bloop. Gotta make a hole there. Now this piece, I had to do a little trimming right here on this corner where my finger is, and a little bit on the edge, but not too bad. I've already test fitted this a couple times. I believe it's money. Let's do the final check here. Yep, here's the holes for the fuse block. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's just basically a U-shaped cutout for the main wiring harness to go out, and then there's that hole for the Hercules plastic nuts. Let me go get one. See if I got enough energy to push another one through. I got the shaft lubed up. Let's see if it'll fit in this hole. I don't know if there's a better way to do that. That's the best way I've come up with. It works out all right, I guess. Now I can officially tighten these nuts right here, or screws I technically would say. Gotta put the fuses in. Of course, we had that one that was bad. It came apart. Quality fuses. Last thing, the old harness connector here. Yeah, that rubber's tricky to get centered onto the connector. But that's seated. In case you were wondering, I did replace the wiring on this truck. Alright, here's the passenger side. First thing, go ahead and ignore this hole here. That's from a Vintage Air AC unit drain hole. So I made that one of my mounting bracket holes, and that one up here, same thing as well. But the rest of it, that's how it comes. Now I don't know if you've noticed, but that square opening you're looking at right there, that makes no sense. I don't know if Stevie Wonder cut that out. I don't know what's going on here. And this section right here is perforated. They don't even, I mean, they don't even need that really. You got a hole here. Nothing, I mean, it doesn't go to anything. This one's for your wire for your blower motor to go through. Now this is where it don't make no sense. This is perforated, and I believe it lines up with the hole if you have windshield washer hoses, because that'll go to your motor there. A little yellow spot where all that connects. So they perforated that in case you have that, but made you a big hole there for whatever reason. And you got that thing cut out, perforated there. I don't know why. I don't remember my original having one. Now the original did have a perforated square there. Once again, don't know why, but it did. But it did not have that circle. But overall, the pad looks good. I mean, it does look like the original. It just right there. I don't know what's going on here. And for my particular use, with me needing to run that spacer to mount that bracket right there, I may just cut this whole section out right here and just cut that pad out the way. And I may put some sound deadening material right there or something. I did not add any sound deadening material. I don't know if y'all noticed that earlier as I was installing this, because I just didn't. I didn't want to mess with it, but I might around this square. But that's for me to figure out right now. What I got to do, I got some more wiring to finish up, and once all that's done, I go ahead and put the floor mat in it. Might even have the AC unit in it as well. Give y'all an idea what it's going to look like all together. All right, guys, I'm gonna get back to work. Well, as you can see, everything is installed and done, and it's been done for close to 2 months now. I just hadn't got around to finishing up this video, but here we are. Now, as far as fit and finish, I'm giving this thing a B-, because, I mean, here we go. You know, we got holes I don't need, and I'll show you the gas pedal area, which is probably the worst of the fitment. I understand that this pad is for 60 to 66, but all holes should be perforated, and if you need it, then you can cut it out. I was able to use that little scrap square around that fitting area for my AC. But, you know, from the most part, sitting at this angle looks pretty good. Let me show you the gas pedal area. Looks okay from this angle, but as you can see here, I mean, it's just horrible. Once again, we got another circle hole in the pad that I don't need, but I had to make one for my reverse light. Now, it's possible Stevie Wonder didn't get it lined up and that hole doesn't belong there. It belongs over here. and I really had to crunch it right there with that gas pedal to get everything to fit and line up. So that's pretty disappointing there. Kind of creased right there, folded over. Probably could have trimmed that, but at the end of the day I didn't really care. It's a cardboard pad, and with everything installed it doesn't look too bad. But that's it, guys. I am officially done with AC and the firewall pad. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up another install on my 1966 C10 that I'm sitting in right now. And I'll be honest with you, this firewall pad is not easy to install, especially with those plastic push nuts. They're extremely difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you and go ahead and tell you to prepare yourself both mentally, right up here in the noodle, and physically. You got to go to the gym, pump some iron, and then afterwards go get you a protein shake from the smoothie factory or wherever you got to go get one. Do what you got to do to prepare yourself, because those plastic nuts are no joke. That 1/4-20 long bolt helped, but I could have used a better tool with a little bit more leverage to help ease those in. So if you can come up with something to make it even easier, I highly suggest you do that. Because throughout this whole process, I had to do an extensive amount of editing. I had to probably eliminate at least 200 to 300 cuss words in this video. Most of those were in English, a few of them were in Spanish, and one was in Chinese. I didn't even know I could speak Chinese, but I know one bad word came out in Chinese. I can guarantee that. But it's installed. Looks better than the original. It ain't crumbling and falling apart. But as you saw earlier, there's a few spots it leaves a little to be desired. But overall, with everything back in place, it looks pretty good. So that wraps this video up. I will be probably taking the rest of the summer off, spend time with the kids, let that old sky cool back down just a little bit. That way I ain't got to have about 48 fans blowing at high speed and then trying to talk over all that, because it gets hot in this garage. Right now it's about 998 degrees outside with a humidity of about 700%. And that's no joke. It's steamy. Once it cools back down, I got a few more installs I want to do on this truck, and I've been saving up a few dollars. I'm up to about $3 to $4 right now. I'm trying to hopefully get to that $5 bill. Get me an old Abe Lincoln in my pocket. And I'd like to get me another project. And I really honestly don't care what brand it is. It could be a GM product. It could be that F-word product. I don't like saying it out loud, but it could be that brand. It could be a Dodge. It could be a Japanese car. I don't even care if it's a European car. Just something that's classic, cool. I don't care if it needs a few things fixed. Maybe it doesn't even run, and we'll do a will it run video, because you know what? There's not enough of those on YouTube. No, there's way too many. So we'll do the right thing and just add another one to the pile. But that's for another time and another video. Until that day, when I finally do get another project, hopefully you'll be subscribed. That way you can stay up to date, and when that day finally comes, you can join me on the journey, and we'll try to get this old whatever ride it would be up and running. That way I can flip it and make a few dollars and continue that process and keep this old channel going. All right, guys, it's hot in this truck, and I want to go back inside the house and let that cool air cool me back down. All right, guys, until then, thanks for watching.